Hey, drone here. What's going on, guys? We got this little mini modded Potensic here GPS drone. Obviously this is MJX clone, but what we have is a Cyclops camera on the front that records, like it records DVR onboard. That we have a DM009's battery on the back, which will power all this. And I don't know what VTX that is. I'm pretty sure this is the VTX where the antenna fell off, and I was like close to 1,000 meters away, and I was still receiving reception, and it didn't burn out. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a fly. We're gonna be using Fat Sharks. Without any further ado, let's fly. And we have liftoff. So this is going to be an epic beyond epic run. Not just because it's a J-drone video. No, we take this out really far. I think farther than I've ever taken this drone. And right now, the quality of the video as far as the resolution, everything's good. We have a little bit of jello. Obviously, I could fix this down a little bit better. It's just 3M tape that's holding it on there and a rubber band. But what's really weird, we do like a light hard landing. How does that make any sense, a light hard landing? Well, we landed a little bit harder than I would like to have, but it wasn't a crash landing. And you'll see that coming up. Once we do that, we kind of lose a little bit of jello that we're getting here. So right now we are headed out over the abyss already, and we are getting close to the 400 meter mark here. And the camera that you're seeing through, bam, so 400 meter mark. I slightly lost signal. I could have probably kept going. I know I could have kept going because I'm going to show you I can almost triple or quadruple or even 5 times that distance. We're going to do it. Again, it was very exciting. It was awesome. I'm thrilled. Absolutely thrilled with this flight. But we're using a Cyclops cam. The camera, it comes by itself. You need to hook it up to a VTX. Once you do that, you then have FPV. But the big thing about the Cyclops camera is you can get DVR footage like this. Clearly we could have mounted it better to get less jello, and again, you'll see less jello in the flight. Right here is not too bad, but you'll see less jello in the flight when we have our light hard landing. And also you have the ability to mount it wherever you'd like. I just stuck it right on the top, pop and swap, put it on the top, and that's why we have blades. Again, for me, this was a relaxing fly. I've been working more than I have typically, and I really haven't been flying too much. You guys haven't really been seeing the typical J drone out in the drone field testing stuff and flying stuff. Been seeing a couple unboxings here and there, a couple live feeds. My Cadillac that I sold, I made a video about that just to kind of commemorate it, and also so I have a visual memory of the car. I've been through tons of cars in my life, and I think I'm going to start to do that. If I get rid of them, I'm going to do a walk around just so I have it. But here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready? Right now, we're probably past that 400 meter mark. Okay, and that's the meter mark that we turned around, that we had slight signal lossage. We are going out. This is the second abyss that you see to the bottom of the left. That's a nasty abyss. If you're in my area, you don't want to crawl down it. I crawled down it the one day, and it took me about 2 to 3 hours to climb up it, and I was fighting daylight, and I was actually a little nerve-wracking. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it out. I thought, uh-oh, this might be J-Drone's last adventure, free climbing out of the second abyss. But I was able to make it out, and it was an adrenaline rush once I got to the top of that. But anyway, we're well past that. We're well past where I started to fly. We're well past the first abyss. We're well past the second field, the second abyss. We are now in the third field. We're in the third field here, and we are going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer Bunny besides maybe this. And this drone flew forever. I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. Our max distance, which we won't hit yet, 1,355 meters. 1,355 meters. 1,400 meters is a mile. Translate that to feet for everybody. That's 4,447 feet. 0.842 of a mile. 1.355 km. That's stock. Minus adding the FPV setup, I've not done anything to the controller. I've not done anything to the drone. This is stock. And I think if I was flying up higher, we could have gotten further. But even in this juncture, I think I've taken a Bebop 2 or a Bebop 1 out this far. Nothing else. The Bugs 2 I haven't even had out this far. So this is saying something. And there you can see it kind of buck back, and then I pull straight back to get a little bit closer towards myself because I didn't want to lose orientation out there. Turn it around, and I still have full control over the drone. I just lost it. When you see it buck back a little, is minuscule loss, but then bamzo, I got it back. Well, I'm actually piloting this. This has not done a return home. It has not done a fail safe where it's coming back home. I'm piloting this in my goggles, in the Fat Sharks, which I don't have the dopest. I'm using, I think, a Furious FPV module. I think that's what it is. I'm not using the top module. I'm not using the top antennas. I'm using some basic stuff here. Cyclops camera, which is DVR that you're seeing, and this is off of a cheapo 8GB card too. This ain't no saying this is a cheapo 8GB card we get with a toy grade drone that I stuck in here, and it worked well. And then the VTX that I'm using, which I really wish I knew what VTX that I'm using, because it is epic beyond epic. We flew this out last time, and I lost my antenna, and I still had reception. All the way out there, I still had a reception. It was getting snowy. It was getting snowy towards that 1,400 meter mark, which again we did not hit. We were just shy of 1,400 meters. But that's pretty epic range. And this is why I do what I do. And I'm gonna call them out. Sorry, I gotta call them out. RC Sailors. If anybody's watching, we're at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Type down below Blue Dragon. RC Sailors are no longer reviewing drones. What? They are no longer reviewing drones. So what does that tell you, point period? They were never in it for the passion. They were never in it for the hobby. You can do the math and figure out what they were in it for. I'm in it because I'm passionate about this. I'm in it because this was relaxing. This was a mild adrenaline rush when I got out there. This is also J drone quality check. I'm quality control. I'm doing a little bit of quality control over here for you. Now we're kind of flying over the side of the small town that I live in. 2.4 gigahertz, I'm sure, is all over the place. It's doing well. But I am quality control for you. You guys know I've had this drone for a little while. You guys know I test things. I push things. Was there a possibility that I was going to go out for a mile walk of shame to go look for this? Absolutely. I didn't know what it was going to do once we lost range out there. I had no clue. Same thing with this. Was it going to fly well over the side of this town? I didn't know. I'm doing this so you guys can comfortably do a little bit less than what I've done. And why am I telling you to do a little bit less than what I've done? Because I live in a prime area. I live in a prime area that there's not a bunch of 2.4 gigahertz bouncing everywhere. I live in the most optimal area to fly. That's why I fly in this field here. And I'm safe to fly around here. Now, if you want to go out and fly, you want to go out and try to do 1,000 meters, yo, I'm going to tell you, you'll be all right in doing it. Just make sure you're up a little bit at altitude. That way, the drone and your controller can maintain a constant connection. If I just flew over top of those trees and headed out, there's a possibility that I would not have gotten as far as I did. But I jacked the drone up a little bit. I made sure I held my drone about chin level instead of holding it waist level pointing to the ground, which was what I did when we hit 400 meters and we slightly lost signal. But readjusting your stance and readjusting how you're holding the controller in correspondence to the drone, and also making sure the drone's up high enough that we're not skimming trees and the signal's not bouncing off trees and whatnot. Like right now, we're pretty high, and we're gonna go over to the Hills Have Eyes area. Look at the time, guys. I didn't jabberjaw much in the beginning. We're at 8 minutes and change here. We're probably getting close, and we're at 8 minutes and 30 seconds soon. We're probably getting close to a solid 8-minute flight here. We got a long way to go. We have a long way to go. This battery lasted amazingly. Now the MJX clone of this, or this is a clone of MJX, they're almost going to be identical. I'd rest assured to tell you what I'm doing with this. You can probably do with your MJX Bugs. I think it's the 4. Is it the 4 or the Bugs 3 Pro? I think it's the Bugs 3 Pro that this is a clone of. You can probably do the same thing because I'm sure the guts are the same. This one just looks cooler, and I'm gonna say this one looks cooler because the other one's all white. This one is matted black, looks tough. I didn't put the legs on it. I didn't put the stock camera on it. From the get-go, I put this AIO, which it's kind of like AIO. It's not really an AIO, so let me correct myself. AIO is all-in-one camera. As you can see, we bogged back. We're getting close to that area there. There's probably a high magnetic field there because there is a ground scale there. So there's probably a lot going on there. But this Cyclops camera I've had on MJX Bugs, I've had it on a couple other things, and look at the quality. Look at the quality minus a little bit of jello. Again, this was a simple pop and swap mount. I did not put any thought to this 3M tape, bam, little rubber band, bam. And that's how we have it on here. But it allows us to get better quality than we would from our goggles. Because I did encounter snow at some points. I did encounter a little bit of lineage from some points, but it was flyable. But this is what I was looking for. I was looking for a little bit of quality, a little bit of video that I could show you guys, and you guys not getting epileptic seizures because you're seeing the FPV flashing when we get out there. This is pretty clean. You could install this on a race drone if you wanted to. You could install this on a race drone and not even hook up a VTX, just hook up power and use this itty bitty camera as your DVR. You don't need to hook it up to a VTX unless you're going to fly from it. And for me, I mean, if we're going to do a small build, this is what's going in it. We're going to smack the Cyclops in it. We're going to put a VTX on it, and that's it. I don't need to carry a GoPro. I don't need to carry a Firefly. I don't need to carry nothing. And we'll get decent footage. Now the sun has set, so there's not much light out here, so this is dim conditions. But all in all, I'm liking it. Again, I've stuck this on a Bugs 3. I had it in a Bugs 3 forever. I think it was actually a F100 that I had it in, that I used to fly FPV when I was on the road with the Jumper T8SG. Unfortunately, this one has not been deviated. We can't jump this drone yet. Is it an impossibility? No. The guys over at Deviation just got to get cracking. They got to look at the board, they got to look at the controller, and then maybe soon time we will have a protocol that is recognized by the T8SG where we can then fly this with the T8SG. But let's look at a big picture here. Do we need it? We really don't need it. You seen the range that I just got. So out of the box, no mod, minus my FPV setup, but out of the box, no mod transmission from the controller to the drone is pretty darn epic. What I'm doing right now, if you can notice, if you can't notice, that's why I'm going to tell you. I'm decreasing in altitude. The way I'm decreasing in the altitude, I have my left stick, which is my throttle stick, which is the stick on the left that is generally centered, all the way down. And I have my right stick, which is my pitch stick, all the way forward, which is all the way up, which means I'm lowering altitude and pitching forward to try to get this thing to come down quick. And I encountered a phenomenon here, an unknown phenomenon. I don't know why, but it's something. This is the only bad part of this drone that I noticed, and it's not terrible. It's not terrible that it did this. It's probably just what I was doing. Again, left stick's all the way down, right stick's all the way forward, and this thing is going to do that light hard crash. It's harder of a landing than I would have liked it to be, but it's definitely lighter. Now check this out. So we do a light hard crash here. We got to shut down the motors. We got the motors shut down. Here comes J-Drone. And grabbed it, reset it. And then we are going to get it back up in the air. And one thing we notice when we get it back up in the air, where did yellow go? Right? So that's what I'm saying. If you mount this properly, and probably what happened, our light hard crash probably just knocked it. It probably just knocked it in the perfect position, because now we don't have much of any jello whatsoever, and we're getting super clean footage. So again, huge props to the Cyclops camera. I've had this for a while. This isn't a new product for me. A lot of people haven't heard of it. I'm gonna see. I got mine off Banggood. I'll see if they're still for sale over there. If they are for sale over there, link will be down below, and they're pretty cheap. They're definitely worth grabbing. Link for this Potensic drone will be down below. I'll shoot you an Amazon link. Again, you could get the MJX cheaper, but if you want the reassurance of hassle-free returns and also the Potensic stamp bam value that if anything goes wrong, they got your back, we'll put the Amazon link down below. Maybe I'll put a MJX link down below as well for a Chinese site where it's going to be cheaper. You can choose. You want the black one and the reassurance from Amazon, click the Amazon link. You don't care about color, you want cheap as possible but the same drone, then check out the Chinese link. My Fat Sharks that I'm using, if I can find a decent link for them, I'll put that down below as well. And I think that's all I got to link for you. My camera, Yes, the camera that I utilized in the beginning and the end of this video, the end of this video is coming up. Look at the time we've been in there. It's amazing. Is an iPhone SE. iPhone SE, the screen's cracked on it, but you can pick them up for $120. $120 for an iPhone that's going to work really well with 99% of your drones, because iOS operating system is more compatible than. That was one heck of a flight, guys. I don't know why it landed earlier in that little patch when I was kind of coming down low. Maybe it registered me holding down for so long trying to get it down in altitude. You want to talk about a nice flying drone. This did really well. We went out really far with it too, like extremely far. Try to focus in on there. And so that was a great flight. And you can see the lights are blinking red. Notification to shut it down, bring it down, but in FPV we don't see that. So you kind of have to listen to your controller. But alright guys, I'm J Drone. If you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. This was awesome. I haven't seen the footage on the Cyclops. Hopefully it was decent. You can see the Cyclops blinking away there. Blink, blink. And so try to get that up there. Bring it down again. Maybe we'll turn it back this way. That's a clean picture of it. Look at that. Super clean. Looks super cool. Again, if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button later.